Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the album Blood Tears by Sisu.
God bless you. Bless.
I hate Calcichesta. Sisu is a California rock band fronted by singer-songwriter Sandra Vu, who plays drums in the Dum Dum Girls, which I actually didn't know at the time when I listened to this album. I had seen the band live, knew she was familiar from somewhere, and aha, that's it. And Dum Dum Girls, if you didn't know, have this sort of lo-fi aesthetic. Their sound is very poppy, dreamy, a little beach-friendly, somewhat shoegazy. They're not a band that I'm particularly crazy about, but I am enjoying this project quite a bit. And Sandra Vu does move into a different stylistic realm with this album, with this record, chasing after sounds from synthesizer pop, a bit of post-punk, the darker side, the gothier side of that genre, a bit of dream pop thrown into the mix too. The sound here overall is chilly, it's moody, and it just has a dash of despair. I can't say the sound on this record is entirely original though. Sandra tends to wear her influences on her black lacy sleeve. But for the most part on this album, I do think she comes off as a sharp songwriter whose hooks and verses don't at all feel hindered by the purposefully dreamy and atmospheric aesthetic that she and her band shoots for. The opening track, Counting Stars, on this LP is pretty sweet. Very understated verses with Vu singing in a very eerie voice on this track. Not exactly straightforward, but kind of sharp, kind of weird. I wouldn't exactly say it's on the back burner either. A very slow, spacious groove, but then the song blossoms really sweetly and melodically once the chorus pops in, and it's like an entirely different song. I like these night and day differences between the verses and the choruses that Sisu sometimes brings to the table. The same thing happens on the track Cut Me Off, which is a more fast-paced song with a very melodic verse, but as soon as the chorus comes in, it's just really a kick drum backing Vu's voice as she's saying, "It could have been easy, it could have been easy, it could have been easy." Basically a song about a relationship that has gone awry, but you're not really getting that info from the other person in the relationship, and they're not really saying, hey, you know what, not that interested anymore, sorry. In this track, despite the fact that it is so atmospheric like other songs on here, it's really, again, driving fast. A lot like another track on here, maybe my favorite, maybe the front runner as my favorite on this album, Return the Favor. Another post-relationship track about kind of keeping up appearances. If I see you, you see me, we say hi, Another post-punk feel. I think fans of Suzy Sue would definitely appreciate a song like this. And killer melody on the hook too. Return the favor. Vu and her band add more variety to the mix with the song Harpoons, which seems to be a bit of a tribute to shoegaze, with this chorus that seems to have way more ethereal layers than any other song on this entire album. The only issue for me though is that structure-wise it's not that fantastic of a track, in that the song seems to be mostly that chorus. There's even a moment where I think we only get one measure of verse and then we instantly pop right back into the chorus with really no alteration to how it sounded all of the times previously that we heard it. Completely neglecting the verses is sort of a thing that happens occasionally on this LP, like on the song Sharp Teeth as well. And there are some songs on here like Electronic where it feels like the verses are so odd, so off-kilter, and so separated from the chorus, I have a hard time being engaged with the entire track, even if I do like the very milky, somewhat Twin Shadow-esque bass lines on this song. Still, more variety and good tracks do come down the pipe, like on the song Sinking Feeling, where it does feel pretty clear that there is a Dum Dum Girls connection with this record, with the very twangy guitars. But this song does feel darkened to an extent and doesn't feel like it sort of slips out of the overall aesthetic of the album. Then there's Shotgun Running, which is purely a vocally led dream pop track that is pretty sweet on the ears. And then there's the song Let Go, one of the slower tracks on this LP, one of the eerier and more wintry tracks on this LP, a song that also feels inspired by a relationship where you can't get away. This track, like others on here that do feel like they have some kind of romantic root in them, the lyrics at times can be sort of basic in terms of description, and it makes it difficult really separating these songs and getting a different emotional vibe from each of them. Still, I do like the tune of the track a lot and the very ghostly vocal harmonies on this song sort of scratch a special itch in my eardrums. I guess overall as an album it sort of feels like a mixed bag of tracks that sort of all follow a similarly dark blueprint, and there are quite a few tracks on here that, while not terrible, are sort of underwhelming and just pale in comparison to others. I think Blood Tears is decent, but there are enough highlights and interesting moments on here, and especially catchy choruses, that make me feel like there could be more interesting stuff coming from this project into the future. I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7 on this thing. Transition. But if you've given this album a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Sisu, Blood Tears, forever.